Hello, sports fans! Welcome to another episode of a sports podcast.
that was the intro?
That was the intro.
That was the intro that you decided to choose. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, this is not going to be another episode about sports because that was the one thing that all of you didn't fucking want.
That was a unanimous decision.
But yeah, welcome to episode 2 of The Cliff, the sports-free episode of The Cliff.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening to the first episode. We are now on 11 platforms. I can't even remember how many of them there are.
I gotcha. We are now on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the iTunes Store, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Castbox, and YouTube. And any other site that we might not know we're on. But those are the 11 main ones.
Those are the 11 that we
all
have confirmed.
The Cliff Podcast.
So, thank you all for your support. It means the world that you gave a shit about listening to us just talk out of our asses for 42 minutes.
Seriously, though, the feedback was overwhelmingly positive,
yeah.
And we appreciate it to the moon and back.
That was super, super cool. We have a lot more cool stuff coming up soon that we will announce in the near future. I'm super excited about. But for now, welcome to episode number 2, and we've been getting a lot of cool requests from people, or suggestions from people on what we can kind of talk about, and today we wanted to talk music, and just kind of talk about our favorite music, and kind of some stuff that we've experienced at some concerts in the past.
Yeah, one suggestion, I wish we wrote down who gave us the suggestions, because now I feel bad.
Yeah.
I forgot. But one person sent in... they want to know our top 10 bands or artists and top 10 songs. They didn't specify whether it was all time or at the moment, so I kind of just mixed them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely, my top 10 artists, I think that I went more current, more actively, and then top 10 songs, I went a little bit more all time. Yeah, so that's kind of where mine is.
Yeah, looking at my list, mine was pretty much current artists, and then I have a couple old-timey songs.
And I believe that the person that requested that we do this, I believe, was Claudia. God, I hope that that's the truth, because otherwise, I've just, given someone credit for something.
We'll do better episode 3.
Yeah,
or 4, whichever one.
Fucking whatever. Regardless, right?
So, do you want to start, or do you want me to go artist, songs, or do you want to go artist, and then I go artist, and then we go songs?
Let's do artist, song.
Okay, and you want to go first because you're last in the alphabet?
Oh, are we doing by alphabet?
Yeah, you're last in the alphabet.
I am last in the alphabet.
All right.
So, alright, cool. I'll go first. Alright, I'll go in reverse order. So, artist first. The bottom half of this is not necessarily in order. I think it kind of is. So, number 10, We Came as Romans.
Okay, that's a good one.
Just saw them, 3 weeks ago now. And even with losing Kyle, they still put on an incredible show. I think that what they lost with losing Kyle, they make up for by trying to honor Kyle. So they were, yeah, they definitely did a really great job.
How did that go? Who sang? Did anyone take
Dave
a spot,
did both.
Or did Dave
did both, and then when there were parts where they were both supposed to be doing vocals, one of the guitarists would fill in.
Okay. Okay. So they didn't actually get a fill.
No, yeah, they didn't replace Kyle.
Which is good.
And Dave held his own with the clean vocals.
Only the people who really know him can call him David.
I'm close friends with Mr. David Stevens, so we chat like that. Number 9, Touche Amore.
Another good one.
And a band that I heard so many good things about for years. They were huge on Tumblr, when Tumblr was a really big thing, and they were always and I just never really went and took the time to listen to them. But then they were on that tour with Basement and Thursday my freshman year, and so I went and saw that show, and I was like, well, I need to get my head up these people's asses, and I did.
Yeah, I like Stage 4.
Stage 4
is their most recent album.
Yes.
Okay, I like that one. I've not done a lot of listening to their old stuff yet. I'm weird when it comes to songs.
Yeah.
As you know, I don't like listening to songs where I don't know the words.
Yeah, which makes it hard for you to ever like new music.
It's I don't know. I love listening to new music, but it's hard for me to actually like it if I don't know the words. Which is
Which is like a fundamental problem.
Which is why I never listened to We Came as Romans.
I was just gonna say, like, it's funny because We Came as Romans was the same deal. Like, we talked about how much I love them, and you were like, yeah, I don't really like them, and I was like, well, what? And then after being around me for a couple of weeks, you like knew the words, and you were like, yeah, I fucking love them.
Yeah, because I knew the words.
Yeah.
All right, so who's 8?
Number 8 is Counterparts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now we don't share a single one.
So far, okay. Yeah, love them, love their live energy. Brendan's like a fucking poet. Like, they're very talented people.
They're deep.
Yeah.
They're very deep.
Number 7, Beartooth.
Another one that we don't share, but another great one.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Shomo, right?
I was going to put Beartooth because of Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But Aggressive was really, really good. But their last one, Disease, great album. Very, very low replay value for me.
Okay.
I've only listened to it front and back twice, maybe.
I think I listened to it for the 4th or 5th time just like a couple of days ago when I was packing up some of my apartment, and I was like, yeah, okay, so this is a good album. I just haven't really given it enough time yet. Yeah.
It's not a bad album at all,
not at
but
all.
as for like replay value, like Disgusting, with like the lines and Beaten in Lips and stuff like that, like the classic Beartooth, not even close.
Which of course, like over time, like this album will become more like classic Beartooth as well. Like, you know, once they've put out more stuff and they've, you know, like with time, you know, age like fine wine. Right?
Age like fine wine.
Number 6, Turnstile.
Wow, we are so different.
So similar but so different. I mean, they put on a kick-ass show. All the bands on my list do, but like, wow, yeah. Their most recent release, Time and Space, was really, really good.
Time and Space?
Mm-hmm.
We got Time and Place?
We got Time and Place, we got Time and Space, and so do they. Turnstile's really fucking great. I think this will probably be the first one that we overlap on. Number 5, Ice Nine Kills.
Yes, I do have Ice Nine Kills.
Okay, alright. So
fantastic band. If you have not listened to them yet, get on it. Especially their last album. If you like horror movies, please listen to their last album, The Silver Scream. They write a lot of their songs based on horror films and horror literature. Their last album was on horror films. So there's Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. What else we got? Jaws.
Saw.
The one about Saw was
really
awesome. Their album previously, Every Trick in the Book, was about horror literature. So it was like, or I guess
just famous literature in general.
Famous literature.
They had like Romeo and Juliet in there.
Yeah. They also had the one about those people stranded in the Andes Mountains. I'm not sure if that was a literature or a true story.
Both.
Both. All right. So they write. They're just fucking.
They're incredibly talented writers.
And Spencer puts on one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Number 4, definitely one that you won't have. The Wonder Years.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, my much more pop punk side comes out kind of at the top of the list. I mean, they have done what I think that a lot of bands have struggled to do in terms of like changing with time, because they went from such a like fun-loving, like easy core sort of like pop punk band, like being like dude bros, to being very like still having a lot of their pop punk elements and roots, but like they just have grown. Like, you know, like they're not 22 and trying to like make like something like funny anymore. Like they've become really serious, and I mean, they write about some serious shit, like talking about like the friends that they've lost to drugs and like losing his grandpa while he's overseas and couldn't be there, like and stuff like that. I mean, they're really, really impressive with how they've progressed as a band, and I mean, I've never really disliked anything they've put out. Like all of their old stuff like holds up, and then their newer stuff, like No Closer to Heaven and Sister Cities, like both of those last 2 albums, like totally different, but like really great.
Which is why I think some bands I have on my list and some bands that you have on yours, we listen to them now, that we've been listening to them since we were 16 because they've grown up with us.
Exactly.
Some other bands that I used to listen to really heavy and have not even thought about listening to have grown up, but they have stayed at that same 17-year-old sound where you have to sing the chorus and then like scream the verse and then sing it's like the
very
same pattern every song. It's a
Yeah.
very Rise record type of song.
Yeah.
Not to shit on Rise Records or anything, but awful.
So yeah, but I love the Wonder Years. Number 3, I definitely know that this will be an overlap and probably very close up to the same spot on the list. Sorority Noise.
I have them on my list, but I did not put my list in any particular order. But
Fair.
if I did, more than likely it'd be in top 5. Yeah.
I mean, wow, right? Like,
are they coming back?
No.
They have to come back.
I really wish they would, but
They broke up over something that we really shouldn't address on the podcast because like it could be taken in so many different ways.
It's just a shame. Case in point.
It's a shame. Case in point.
And Cam's mental health is
that's the other thing though. Besides what they left over, like when a hiatus, everyone in that band struggles with mental health, especially Cam.
And I see him pop up on Twitter from time to time. I have his tweet notifications on, so
he'll retweet or like something every now and then, but he rarely ever actually tweets something.
Yeah, but I mean, for only having 3 albums out and not really even becoming popular until in between albums 2 and 3, when they like started going on tour with some of the bigger names, like touring with Knucklepuck and like all that stuff. Like
that was a weird one.
What a great band for like talking about the mental health issues that like are kind of overshadowed in a lot of ways, and they're definitely not the only band that does that. But like, I mean, it's just so like it's so honest. Like
I remember when we found them. We found them on Tumblr, and then
like there was the GIF. Yeah,
it was the GIF that said, "I've learned to love myself more than I could ever love you." And you and I were both like, "That's pretty cool."
That's
so we looked them
tight,
up,
yeah.
and like it's a weird sound. Like the song "Dirty Ickis" is a really weird sound, and me and you were like, okay, for like the first like 30 seconds, we were like looking at each other like, all right, how do you feel about this? And then it hit, and you were like, okay.
Yeah, and then we listened to a couple more songs, and I remember like we were listening to them, and we were like, we don't know why they're so good, but we think they're so good. But now, like, we've definitely reached the point where we're like, I can give you 11,000 reasons why they're really good.
Yeah, like you said, they're so honest about their mental health, which is good because both you and I have struggled with mental health. We know a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
We've met a lot of people through our struggles with mental health, and we like to think that they have helped us and we've helped them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And, like, there's lyrics in Sorority North, like in Disappeared, when he says, I've showered for the first time and it felt like weeks. It's like, exactly that.
Yeah, exactly,
like,
absolutely.
Like, they put a lot of, like, what we feel into music, which I think a lot of people try to use as metaphors. Like, some people will be like, oh, the butterfly doesn't fly, it's so high. And then they try to,
Cam is like, I really wanted to die today,
yeah,
but I still pulled it together. Like,
yeah.
it's just brutally honest.
They try to cover, like, other artists try to cover it up, but Cam is like, you know what?
Brutally honest.
I almost overdosed, I almost did this, I almost did that, and I will put it in a song.
Yeah.
So
love them. So that's number 3. Number 2, Stick to Your Guns. And I think that my top 2 are probably super obvious. But
Stick to Your Guns and Tissif.
Of course, yeah. So,
the story so far.
But yeah, number 2, Stick to Your Guns. Cool, you have them. That's great.
Yep, of course.
Yeah, they. I mean, another band that just. I mean, I can't think of anything that I've disliked that they've put out. I mean, they've been in the game for a long time now. And I think they've just gotten progressively better with every record. I don't think they've ever hit their ceiling.
Another band that grew up with us, though.
Absolutely. I mean, Diamond was definitely like their most iconic album to date, but like, I mean, like the Hope Division before that, For What It's Worth before that, and then like Disobedient afterwards, and then fucking True View just being their most recent release coming out last year. I mean, that's another band that like, yeah, they just have consistently gotten better. They've never like gotten complacent with like their place in the world, and like they're talking about some real shit too.
Yeah,
they I mean,
and they're a very outspoken band too.
Absolutely. In terms of mental health, and then in terms of like the world, like
just in general, yeah.
Just in general, and I think that they have a great message, and obviously they sound fucking fantastic. I have a tattoo for them on my body, so like obviously.
And they don't shy away. Like they can be performing in a very conservative state, and they will still scream their message on stage. Like they don't shy away from like the audience they're performing.
Absolutely.
Which I've never seen them get any backlash for that, because I think the people who attend their shows share the same viewpoints, but it's good to see a band preach what they believe in on stage and not like just do like use it as a marketing scheme.
Yeah, and to not be afraid to speak their minds no matter where they are or what they're doing.
And they're straight edge and they're vegan.
Yes.
But we are not vegan, but
good for them.
But they're
I don't think all of them are. I think they're just
Jesse
and Josh.
Jesse and Josh.
But I could be wrong.
But they're all straight edge.
I believe so.
Yes. I think that's like what they...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously number 1, and I mean, I think this is fucking obvious no matter what. The Story so far.
And anyone who's talked to you for more than 6 seconds would know it's The Story so far.
Anybody who's ever looked at my right arm or ever seen me wear a t-shirt or knows my Twitter or Instagram name or, yeah, like anything. Yeah, I mean, what can I say about them? I mean, they're my favorite fucking band. I mean, they were my favorite band when I was in high school because I was angry all the time, and they were angry, so I was like, let's be angry together. But then, you know, a lot of people have like, there's been some criticism from people who got tired of their music, like thinking that they essentially wrote the same album like 3 times before Proper Dose, and I disagree. I mean, definitely the same kind of vibes because it's. I mean, if you're a band,
you're a pop punk band from California.
Yeah,
there's only so many vibes you can explore.
And like, if you're a band, like you're gonna have a sound.
Yeah,
and, like
that's their sound.
And I think that you can absolutely tell the difference between a song off of Under Soil and Dirt and then off of What You Don't See. And then I mean, the self-titled is way different from both of those.
I don't see any similarities between their self-titled and the prior two.
Hell no.
But
and then,
I've also been friends with you for so long that I've listened to every single album they have, minus Proper Dose, multiple times. And
right, but because of that, like you can tell the difference a lot better, you know.
But
and then
either way, even if it's the same sound, that's 30 songs by a great band.
Really
why
good
would
band,
you complain about it?
And then Proper Dose was like a huge change of direction, but like a really great change of direction.
I really got to get on that.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, when we get to the songs list, like you'll see, like that. I mean,
there's if I fall on there, obviously.
Spoilers, but yeah. So that's my top 10,
Okay.
And they're all great bands, so check them out.
Okay, so we overlap. Just to make my list a little quicker, we overlap on Ice Nine Kills, Sorority Noise, and Stick to Your Guns.
Okay.
So that's 3. So I have 7 different ones from you. My top 3 are very obvious if anyone's ever talked to me for more than 10 seconds. Crown the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
My Boys.
Almost made the cut for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, very close.
I've been a fan since the day they released their first song. Like, I was just scrolling through YouTube and I found it and it was like uploaded like a month ago.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not the day they released the new song.
Yeah.
But it's close enough for a new band, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crown the Empire, definitely have them on my right arm. The Color Morale, have them on my ribs and on my left arm.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett, an angel sent from heaven.
Absolutely.
Talking about some guy who has gone through it and loves to like help others through it. That's your man. Like, he's like the Cam of Sorority Noise. He is an amazing human being. The things that he has encountered and has gone through and has helped me. I cry like a little bitch every time I see him.
Facts.
And I am 22.
And you've seen them, what, 6, 7 times now?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've lost count, but every single time I'm like, I remember the 1 year Warped Tour, I was like, I'm not going to cry this year. I'm like, I'm a man, and like 3 songs in, you looked at me, and I'm like, okay, well, I tried.
Yeah.
Their messages and their song, like, they're another band. They use the metaphors, but they use them well.
Yeah.
They're not corny about it. My boy, Mac Miller.
Of course. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Hardest day of my life. That was I was also in the hospital when he died, so.
Because of your angioedema.
Yeah, I have angioedema. I guess we'll get into that later. But yeah, I have edema. Angio is just a location on the body. Angio is your tongue and your lips. So I have angio and other forms of edema.
We should just have a whole episode where we talk about like all of the shit wrong with our bodies.
Yeah, like you don't sweat.
Yeah.
I saw you put on deodorant the other day. It took less than 6 seconds because you don't sweat, and it bothers me because I'm like coating myself. But Mac Miller, Crown the Empire, Color Morale, Oasis.
Okay, that's the surprising one.
I love Oasis. One of my best friends is from England, so I jam Oasis down his throat because I just like making fun of him.
Do you do that to Sam?
Yeah, I do it to Sam all the time. Like,
That's
every
so
time
funny.
Sam talks, I'll play like Wonderwall, and he'll be like, I get it. But because like they were never in my top 10 ever.
Yeah.
But since I've been friends with Sam and just have been jamming him down his throat just for fun,
You like accidentally fell in love
I
with them?
accidentally fell in love with
That's
them, and
so
now
funny.
and they even have a song in my top 10. But you know that song in top. Everyone knows the song in my top 10.
Wonderwall.
No, actually, it's not Wonderwall.
No, I know.
Elton John. I'm a huge Elton John fan, but
Okay.
you know that.
Yeah.
I saw Billy Joel in his last show. He almost made the cut, but Elton John is fantastic.
Yeah. You're gonna watch Rocket Man when it comes out?
Oh yeah, me and my mom have tickets.
Fuck yeah.
Sorority Noise, Barnes Courtney. We were playing him when you walked in today.
Got it. Okay.
Barnes Courtney is fantastic, alternative dude. Fun show. He's coming here September 17th at the Loft. I've never been to the Loft.
You going to a show?
I know I'm going to a show. But I told you, I don't go to shows anymore. I want to go to shows for people I have not seen.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen Crown the Empire. I've seen The Color Morale. They're on hiatus.
Forever.
I've seen Mac Miller. I will never be able to see him again.
But you did. In those,
But I saw him twice. Fantastic shows. But I want to start spending money on people I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a band will come to your town like 2 or 3 times for the same album. And you're like, okay, I've seen the set list twice.
Yeah.
And whether they're great performers or not, you're like, I could be somewhere else. Elton John, Ice Nine Kills, we overlap. Sorry Noise, we overlap. Barnes Courtney, we overlap. Ed Sheeran.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
I'm a huge Ed Sheeran. I've seen him in concert.
Yeah.
I was actually his last show on his most recent tour, the Divide Tour. And at the show, he was like, all right, well, this is my last time in America for like 5 years. I'm like, really?
That's crazy.
Really? So, but I'm so glad that I actually went to go see him. It was supposed to be November 10th, and I wasn't going to be able to go because it was my mom's birthday. But I think something happened on the tour, so we moved all the dates up. And I went on the 11th, I believe. And it was fantastic. Great. He does everything by himself. So he does the drums by himself, the guitar by himself, backup vocals. He has like a little pad like on his feet, and he hits all the pedals, and it controls everything.
Nice.
But he's the only one on stage. So it was really cool because like his stage presence isn't as good as it can be, obviously, because he has to stand there and hit the pedals. But the fact that he can do that and focus and sing and like, it was really, really cool. Those are my top 10. And Stick to Your Guns, obviously, fantastic band. You want me to go into songs? Or you want to go songs?
I'll do songs.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So very similar to the band's list. The top, I'll say top 5 are pretty much all in order. 10 through 6 are a little more like, I just knew I needed these in here.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah. So number 10, Solace by Counterparts.
Okay. I'm trying to think about how that one goes.
My coffin is my conscience, and I swear sometimes I'd rather be dead.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Great one.
Yeah. I cried during that song the first time I saw Counterparts, and like, imagine crying during Counterparts, right? Like, I'm a little bitch for that.
Brendan should kick you in your teeth.
Yeah, he wanted to for another reason.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I mean, I saw them on that tour where they were with Senses Fail, my freshman year of college, and they played that song. And I have like a rule where I don't really abide by it as much anymore. But I used to, record one song per set list for the bands that I really wanted to see, so that way I had like one full song to take home with me. And it would usually, if it was like for a band that I didn't know all of their songs, I would pick one that I didn't know. But if it was one that I knew their entire set list, I would just pick one that I could like see myself being able to stay still a little bit better. So that I picked Solace because I was like, cool, yeah, that's not as like fast paced of a song, it's a little more slow. And then you hear me in the background of that video just like sobbing as I like try to scream through like the words. And then I like have watched it back and been like, why the fuck am I crying to Counterparts? Like,
Solace is a pretty emotional song.
oh yeah, just
most of their songs are pretty emotional.
Yeah, but like just because of the way they present, like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm crying to Counterparts? Like,
yeah.
It's odd.
And talk about a band who doesn't take anything seriously. Counterparts.
Number 9, Hope by We Came as Romans, which,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, just long-standing love for that band.
That was the dream.
Song.
Hope,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dream was the...
Yes, yeah. I had a dream, and what was it? I guess around 2013, I had a dream that I was crowd surfing to Hope at Warped Tour, and I got like high-fived by Kyle, and I was like, well, I have to make that happen. And so, I mean, those things kind of came true in separate parts. So like I crowd surfed to Hope 3 times at Warped Tour 15. It was my first time seeing them, and I crowd surfed that song 3 times. And then we saw them the following year when they were with Memphis Mayfire, and I crowd surfed a different song. I believe it was Tracing Back Roots. And Dave high-fived me as I was getting to the front. So I didn't get the high-five from Kyle, and it wasn't during Hope, but I crowd-surfed Hope, and I got a high-five from Dave. So it works. Yeah, like it happened. But that song is dope. Number 8, If It Means a Lot to You by A Day to Remember. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, if you were emo at any point in your life, that's gotta be...
I mean, it's gotta be one of the most iconic songs of the scene, right? So...
Yeah, and unfortunately, Welcome to the Black Parade is also, but My Chemical Romance was never good, and I think people need to.
Damn.
I think people
Hot
need to.
take.
I think people need to understand that My Chemical Romance was never good.
Wow.
There's not one. There's 4, maybe 5 songs that are decent to listen to.
Bold takes on the cliff, man.
but like Welcome to the Black Parade, I don't know what made that song so iconic for us.
It's that fucking
Like the little piano key. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I sing it every time it's on.
Absolutely, it's a rule.
You have to though, like it's a rule. But like, they weren't good, and I think people gotta stop calling for them to be reunited because they have to stay broken up. They should have broken up like 12 years ago.
I definitely agree that they need to stay broken up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but back to.
But that's my take.
Back to If It Means a Lot to You. Just, I mean, how do you not cry to that song? Like,
I've never cried to that song.
Really?
I don't think I've ever understood really the message behind it either.
it's just one of those like lovey-dovey songs. Like,
Yeah, I think the girl throws it off for me.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if it Jeremy's the name. Jeremy's the lead singer.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah, I don't know. I think if it was just him, it would be a little more. But I think like the change of artist, where like I have to like shift my attention. I think it like takes it away. I have no idea how to explain it, but I've never been like.
so odd.
I've never been. You know, I know the words to that song.
Yeah,
too,
you
so
do.
it's not like,
It's-
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, but like that song, it's incredible. Like I drive around with my iPod plugged into my car, and like I drive around with it on shuffle a lot of the time, and that song has like this indescribable talent to come on when it's raining. So like,
Oh really?
yeah, it's like it's ridiculous.
But
Like,
you also have SAD. I feel like a lot of people have SAD.
Oh,
I have
absolutely.
SAD, but I see it really, really bad in you. And if you guys don't know, SAD is when you get, I forgot what it stands
seasonal
for.
affective disorder.
Seasonal
Yeah.
affective disorder. It's when you get sad because of the weather.
Right, and so imagine like having that, and it's raining, and then that song comes on. Send tweet.
Send tweet.
Number 7, a total flip. Keep It Moving by Turnstile.
Don't know that one.
You probably do.
I don't know a lot of their song titles, but I know a lot of their songs.
It's probably, I mean, it's debatably like their most iconic song. Like, it's the one that gets the crowd going the most. Yeah, I've been there before, leaving my heart like an open
Okay,
door.
I saw it.
Yeah,
I just don't know the names
exactly.
of their songs.
But I mean, that song. Is,
Like, what about that 1 minute one?
Which one? Oh, The Things You Do.
Yeah, the things you do. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. But Keep It Moving is just, I mean, the absolute hype song for their sets to me. Number 6, Flowers in You by Touche Amore.
Fantastic song.
I mean, that was the song during their set at that show that I got into them at. That was the song that got me into them.
That's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
Like, you can't stress it enough. I mean, his mom died from cancer.
Stage
Your
4
mom
cancer.
had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that's what that whole album means to me, is with my mom being a cancer survivor, and with that whole album being about his mom passing from stage 4 cancer, and she had already survived cancer once before, which is a lyric from one of the songs. But like having that whole album basically be about his mom and what it means, like that he lost her, and like what life has been like without her, and like all the kind of regrets that he has for like taking her for granted while she was alive, especially while she was sick, but him not being able to really process that. So him like kind of still not taking her for granted, like not taking advantage of her, but just not understanding like how much the little things were gonna affect.
but he said he definitely took it for granted because that's a lyric in the
Right.
song.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that song hits home
It's
for me too because my grandmother died from cancer. My other grandmother had cancer, lived through it. My grandfather just got diagnosed with cancer last week.
right.
So like, granted, cancer's not the only reason the song's good.
Right,
like,
but for
right.
that personal connection, and I mean,
Yeah.
I think that personal connection can exist for everyone, because I think that everyone has someone in their life that has been affected by cancer. So, I mean, for that reason, there's like that personal connection and that emotional connection, but then, of course, I mean, the song is
the
just
song
really
is
well
just
put together.
rips. The song's awesome.
It's a really great song. Number 5, and this is the tattoo song, as I call it, The Better Days Before Me by Stick to Your Guns.
Okay.
I mean, that's off True View. I think that True View might be their best album yet. And like when I was deciding that I wanted to stick to your guns tattoo last year, I mean, the cool thing about True View was that their album art for that was that like every song had its own little kind of like artwork, and they were totally, I don't know if it was on purpose, but they were totally drawn to look like tattoos already.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
And so
I think they were just tired of seeing their logo tattooed on people because like it was like
diamond.
always the heart or
And
the
the heart,
diamond
yeah.
or I think they were just like, all right, let's give these people some like designs. Come on.
I mean, love that album art, and I love every song's artwork, and so I mean, it was hard to make that decision of like which one am I gonna do. But so I listened through the album again and again and again, and I was like, okay, I need to like pick what song really stands out the most to me, and The Better Days Before Me was that, and then I got it tattooed on me, and as if I wasn't already like worked up enough when I hear that song, like not like crying, but like just very like into it.
Yeah.
When that song comes on now, I mean, it's like even more so.
I feel the same way. Like if I get worked up with their song "The Crown."
Yeah,
their Crown is really,
great
really
song.
good.
Yes.
When my tattoo shop had our tattoo shop had the flash sale, they had a design that looked sort of like one of the pictures from TrueView.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to get it. I just didn't have a place for it because I went in there with the intention of getting the one I got.
Right.
But I took a picture of it just in case because like I definitely want to go back and get it because I want to incorporate it somehow. But it looks really, really cool. And if you guys live in Georgia or are local or want to plan to come to Georgia at any point, Once in a Blue Moon Tattoo, go to them and ask for Carrie. He's always busy because he is one of the best tattoo artists I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
I think he's booked up until July.
He's constantly booked for
which is crazy, but
advance.
he will make your wait worth it. He's done all 10 of mine. He's done all 3 of yours.
Mm-hmm.
He's done my brother's.
Yep.
He is a fantastic. He's easy to work with.
Yes.
His wife is awesome. She also works at the shop.
She does piercings there as well.
Yeah. Fantastic family. Professional as hell. They work their asses off. They open their new shop, so like I can't say enough good things about them.
Once in a Blue Moon Tattoo at Once in a Blue Moon Tattoo. Definitely go check out their work, and also check out Carrie's personal page where he puts his tattoos at Carrie Brownie. It's Kerry and then Brownie. Yeah, so that's a quick little shout out for our artist.
He didn't ask us to do that.
No, not sponsored. I wish it was.
Yeah. Me too.
Number 4, Disappeared by Sorority Noise.
I have one Sorority Noise song on my list, but it's not Disappeared. Fantastic song though. Was going to put it on there, but I think it got beat out by a Mac Miller song, which is fair.
But yeah, Disappeared. When you're not as you think, which is the best way that I can really say that album title. When you're not as blank as you think came out. When I heard that song for the first time, I immediately like felt that connection that I felt with these other songs that are at the top of this list. Yep. Like some of these songs, like it took a while to build that like really like that bond to. This was immediate. I turn this song up like full blast volume every time I hear it, especially at the part like where it really kicks in, where it's like I let my hair down today and took a shower for the first time in what felt like weeks, which is the line that you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
They just have this incredible knack for talking about things in the way that I like. The way that I feel, you know, like again, it's like, and like the metaphor stuff is great, but they talk about things, and even when it's not like the same situation in their life, it just always feels smack on to how I'm feeling. Like,
oh yeah, easy.
Because I shower every fucking day, but when I'm really depressed like that, like getting in the shower can really feel like an absolute like experience. So, it's I mean, what else? Yeah, like seeing that song live is, it's hard to like get through without like melting down because it's just really important.
No, it's a very good song.
Number 3, I think this is gonna really surprise you. Number 3, Stalemate by The Story So Far.
Was that sarcasm that was supposed to surprise me?
Surprise you because it's not number 1.
No, I know If I Fall's number 1.
Fucking spoilers.
You're my best friend. I keep up with you.
I know, fair. Well, yeah, Stalemate was my number 1 song for a very, very long time. Like all time.
Until Proper Dose
came out. I mean, and it's the last song on the self-titled. It is not a song that they like even really acknowledge. They have never played it live. They probably never will.
Which sucks.
Assholes. No, but it's a really great song. I think it's super underrated, and like other people that listen to them have like even like when I've put like that on like my Instagram or my Twitter, like if people have been like, hey, what's your favorite Story So Far song, and I like post that it's Stalemate at the time. People would be like, really? Like, of all songs, like, that's very surprising because they have this one and this one and this one and this one. Like, yeah, well, I love all their songs. Like, but this one just stood out to me. So, that's number 3. Number 2, Cigarettes and Saints by the Wonder Years. I'm sure they're in a heaven, but that don't mean I don't like to picture you there.
Okay. Is that the one that... Okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a Wonder Years fan, so it takes me a little bit.
But I think you know that one because that's one that I have, like, really...
Was that off,
No Closer to Heaven.
Yes, that was off that one. All right, I've listened to that album, so I know that one.
Yeah.
That had Glass Ceilings, or what?
Yeah, Stained Glass Ceilings is on there.
Yeah, that's
also a really
fantastic
great
song.
But yeah, Cigarettes and Saints, it's that whole album being about like losing friends to drugs and losing friends to just things in general. And Cigarettes and Saints really hit home with like some of the people that I lost in the past. And yeah, and there's this incredible moment where like we were seeing them one night. And they played that song, and I was like going to crowd surf, and it wasn't planned. It just happened that like I stood up kind of like on top of everybody right as they were doing the "I'm Sure the Rain of Heaven" part. It was just sick. That's number 2, and then of course number 1, as you said, is "If I Fall" by The Story So Far. That song, I didn't think anything would ever like dethrone Stalemate, because I mean Cigarettes and Saints has now passed Stalemate just as like time has gone on, but Stalemate was number 1. Unanimously for a long time.
I remember that.
And If I Fall, I like almost didn't want it to become number 1. I was like, whoa, like Stalemate's been my favorite song of all time for like 3 years. Like this is, I don't know if I want this to happen right now, but like I mean, If I Fall is a fantastic song, and I'm very glad that they played that live at their headlining tour. Great song, as are all of their songs. What more can you say? Yeah, so that's my top 10. So
not too surprising.
Yeah.
Mine isn't surprising at all. In no particular order. 2009 by Mac Miller. First song I listened to after he died. First song that he wrote that actually made me emotional.
Yeah.
Like his songs always hit home, but that song actually, like I think it was because he died that song now does something for me. But it talks like, I'm not sure what his actual message was for it, because he never actually comes out and just like, hey, this is what, but essentially what I can infer is just like how he's gotten better over the years, and you know me, I've gotten better over the years. I know you've gotten better over the years, so it hits home for that. Fantastic song. What I Am by Crown the Empire, one of their new singles, fantastic song.
Wow, that's top 10 already though.
Oh, it was as soon as they released it, I listened to it once. I was like, okay. I listened to it again. I was like, easily my favorite Crown the Empire song they've ever written.
Great song.
It has everything you need in a song. It doesn't scream, so like anybody can listen to it. Just the vocals, the instrumentals, everything.
I think it's really well written.
It's another band that's grown with us, Crown the Empire. Don't Look Back in Anger. That is the Oasis song.
Okay.
You know that song?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because I can't sing, so I wasn't gonna sing it.
Well, sing us a little bit.
No. But that's a talent I wish I had.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you what talent you don't have that you wish you had. Mine singing.
Okay.
I cannot sing worth a shit. Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis. I wish I had, non-top 10 songs. Like, I wish I could put all the songs but, I only need 10. Self-Care by Mac Miller.
Of course.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Sleep on the Floor by the Lumineers.
That's a surprising one.
That's a surprising one. Just an incredible song. It's like a runaway song. It's about, leaving your family behind, which I love my family, never dreamed of leaving them, but it's the whole, like, if you need an escape, listen to the song while you're doing it. I'm My Own Doctor by Remo Drive.
Hell yeah.
Remo Drive is a fan. What, they're like 20, they're young. I think they're younger than us.
Are they?
I'm older than you. So they're either at or around my
they're like
age.
our age? Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, they're awesome. Remo Drive, they're releasing an album in 15 days. Another shout out that wasn't asked for, but why not?
It's wild. Like, I told you this earlier, but it's really wild that, like, you ended up being the one that, like, followed up on them just because of, like, the fact that, like, they're way more up my alley.
Yeah, I'm not a pop punk person.
But you're the one that ended up following up on them, and I did not after we saw them with Sorority Noise, and you ended up loving them. I think they're great. When we saw them live, they were really awesome, but I just have never taken the time to listen to them.
Fantastic. That's one of my favorite songs by them. Nosy by...
Yeah.
By Sorority Noise. That's the song I have to crowd surf to. That's the song where if we're in a group, everyone stops and like lets me have my moment.
Exactly.
There's a lyric in there where it's like, you'll always be the reason I stay clean, and that's where I adopted the song.
Yeah.
Avion, or Avian, however you want to say it, Ben Mac Miller, has one of his best verses ever in it. Piano Man and Rocket Man by Billy Joel and Elton John. Rocket Man wasn't going to be in my top 10, but if you watch the music video for it, it's an incredible music video. It doesn't have Elton John in it. It's a little cartoon. It's like one of those cartoons that is like the outlines are like really clean and stuff, but all the coloring is like outside the lines.
Yeah.
And it's just like a dude's whole journey. It's like he like drops into the ocean, and it's like just him and like a whole like blue screen of water. And it's like, I don't know, the music video is amazing, and I just love that. And plus the song itself is really good. And I hope the movie that comes out in 15 days is going to be really good as well.
So are you saying that Rocket Man comes out on the same day as the Remo Drive album?
Yes, another shout out.
Brand new conspiracy theory.
Oh, God. You want to talk about conspiracy theories?
No, not yet.
No.
So is that all your songs? Is that top 10?
Yeah, that's my top 10.
Cool.
Yeah,
So,
I'm pretty... both of ours weren't too surprising. We had a couple that were surprising, but nothing too bad.
I think I'll probably make a Spotify playlist with all of these songs.
Ooh,
if
that'd be
people wanna
good.
check
We'll
them
call
out.
it the Cliff playlist.
The Cliff playlist, yeah.
Cliff podcast playlist.
The Cliff podcast playlist.
TCPP.
Yeah. So I'll probably do that, and then we can maybe even throw like something together that has like a couple of things from each of the top 10 artists as well, which will kind of overlap, of course, with the songs list. But yeah,
maybe we can do like I have 3 Mac Miller songs in my top 10, so I'll put those. But like I have 1 Crown the Empire song. I'll pick like maybe another one. I'll put 2 Color Morale. We'll just put 2 per each artist, and between both of us, we share only like 3 artists.
It's a good like 35 songs.
30 songs.
So,
go check it out. We'll drop the link with our podcast.
Well, yeah, we'll put that out there, and we'll let y'all listen to it. And I mean, I know that there are going to be some people that have already listened to a lot of these bands, and there are also going to be some people that aren't necessarily into some of these bands, because it is like on the heavier side, and there's like the unclean vocals are definitely not for everybody. But there are definitely some great bands on this list that I think are for everybody. I mean, I think the Wonder Years is really one that can be for a lot of people, especially with their newer albums. Obviously, like Oasis and like those people are like fucking iconic. And those are very easily accessible. That's why they got as popular as they did, because they can reach such a wide spectrum of people.
Oh yeah.
So,
definitely.
But yeah, I think that we can wrap up for this.
Yeah. We had an itinerary, but we've talked for almost, I guess, an hour. I'm not looking
probably
at the timer.
Close to, I would say.
But
I mean, we're gonna look at this and it's gonna be like 38 minutes. We're like, oh, close to an hour.
Yeah, almost. But
whatever. But yeah,
we have so many topics coming up. We have something really, really cool coming mid-June that we don't want to announce quite yet, because fingers crossed nothing happens.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx it. We're gonna save that for later on. But we are seeing all of your suggestions. We appreciate them very much. They are all coming. We are trying to space this out so that way we are not just doing like 3 episodes where we like talk for 2 hours and then we have nothing left. So if you have sent us in something, we are going to find a way to work it into.
We have a screenshot. We have it written down. We are trying our best to, like Jared said, not to get to like mid-June and be like, all right, well, we're out of ideas.
Yeah, we've done 4 episodes and we're fucked.
Yeah. But no, keep sending the ideas and keep sharing our podcast. Yes. We hit a lot of viewers in the first week, which, I mean, a lot is what, like a little over 100. But
I think we broke 100 just like yesterday.
But maybe? That's 90 more than we expected we would
Absolutely.
Get. So the feedback has been incredible. The sharing, the shout outs, the follows, overwhelming support. Yes. We appreciate it beyond words.
It really means the world. So with that said, social media plugs. Like us on Facebook. The @ is at the Cliff Podcast, as are all of our other ats, but you can also search us by finding the Cliff with Jarod and Dante. That's the full page's name. And then you can go to @ the Cliff Podcast on Twitter or on Instagram. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor, and then 7 other platforms.
Breaker, Pocket Cast, Castbox, the iTunes Store, Radio Public, Google Podcasts. The list goes on, and honestly, after we drop this, episode 3, we could be hitting you with a few more platforms, but we can't say it enough. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for sticking around after week 1 to watch week 2.
Yeah, I mean, and wherever you're listening from, and whatever you're listening on, and all that stuff, it means the world for people that are coming back, especially because the fact that you listened to us talk for 42 minutes last week and we're like, I want to do that again. It means a lot, and hopefully the cutting out of the sports will make you not need to skip 10 minutes of it like last week's.
But we're going to try every Saturday? We're going to try to do this every Saturday.
Every Saturday. I don't see where it would be an issue, so we're going to keep doing that. Thank you so much again for all of the support, and thanks for jumping off the cliff with us. We'll see you next week.
Take care of yourselves.